Hello again, Arctic, it's me, Matty. And now we're going on to the second area. Again, I'll try to get through these as quickly as possible. Now, I appreciate the fact that when you go from here to here, there's a bit of a transition. However, I think it's not really very impactful. You kind of approach it slowly and you can see things kind of transitioning into this different style. You've got slightly different coloured grass, you've got sand, you've got more trees and stuff. But because the transition is kind of gradual, it's not very impactful. So what I suggest you do instead is try to split each area off. So maybe when you reach the end here, this cliff extends out over here, and then you go around a corner and suddenly you're in a different zone. Like, you know, if you're able to see it from over here, then it kind of spoils the surprise somewhat, and it makes this landscape kind of just blend into this one. So again, you know, it doesn't really feel impactful. Also, the style here, the detailing is quite similar, just running around on displacements all the time with the same kind of grass thing going on. I appreciate you've got different trees, but you're also mixing in elements from earlier on in the map that you've already used elsewhere. So that kind of, again, just makes it feel like a bit of a mishmash. I think each area should have its own distinct theme, so get rid of these. This building maybe looks a bit too similar, so maybe change the design of this, make it look a bit more islandy, but don't have it visible from over here. You know, only have it visible when you enter this area properly. Make it look more like a kind of beach tropical thing. These Pokemon here, they're just kind of out here in the open, not doing anything. Again, are they interactable? Difficult to say. If they're purely for decoration, maybe have them off on their own separate adjoined island that is inaccessible. And again, because you've got these trees kind of sporadically placed here, it's quite noisy and draws attention to this area. And it's not very attractive. So ideally what you want, I think, is maybe to have these trees on the right hand side here to encourage players to go round the corner, and then have smaller trees over here, or just shrubs or other props which are more you know, more fit the bill. They look a bit weird just kind of out here, you know. Another thing actually is I know the picturesque island habitats can sometimes have like palm trees or whatever, just kind of at an angle. Maybe you could rotate them slightly. Also see if you can get like a thinner model as well, because the thickness of these things is very strong and it looks bizarre. They're the kind of structures which look designed to make up like a layout or something, or a structure of some kind. They don't look like background detail props. They look too thick for that. So again, repeating the feedback that I gave earlier on, the trap here, is this just like, you know, the same boring kind of trap activation system going on? Now, I appreciate the fact that you've got an NPC here. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. This tree looks out of place for this environment. These slats here are a bit too thick. They're also riding quite high. They should be lower down, level with the ground. If I go into third person here, you can see that these handrails are up to my arm. They should be a bit lower. I feel like there should be traps here, but there are none. Where are the traps? There's lots of walking going on. These things, they're quite detailed. They look like power-ups or something. Maybe I've been playing too much Fortnite, I don't know. But the fact that they're here leads me to think that maybe I can attack them and maybe get some health. I don't know. Are they just more Pokemon characters? It's difficult to say. They're accessible out in the open here, and they're living underneath the tree. Maybe it's because that's where mushroom-type Pokemon live. I don't know. But in any case, they look weird. They stick out too much, and they look like I should be able to pick them up. So maybe put them off to one side. They also look tiny in comparison with everything else, so make them at least 3 times larger. Excuse me. Alright, so we're finished with this area, and we only had like 2 traps. We didn't really get anything. So it's a bit of a wasted opportunity. You didn't really have any traps which kind of take advantage of this this style, this theme. Like if you got like a tropical environment, maybe you could have like a couple of palm trees with a catapult attached to them, you know, like in those old cartoons where if you're around when the catapult gets triggered, you get flung over here, you know, and into the water or something. Breakable bridges, I don't know. More interesting stuff. Maybe coconuts falling on you. Maybe the Pokemon could throw coconuts at you. That'd be interesting. They could target you, throw coconuts, and you'd have to constantly dodge them. So again, we'll leave this area and we'll go on to the next one. But before we do, I'll just say that again, the transition here, although it's better because I feel like we're kind of entering a different theme, and I've rounded a corner and I'm not kind of being slowly transitioned into another area. I feel like this area still needs to be capped off in some way. I think the problem here is that because I saw this tree early on, it ruined the surprise somewhat and looked odd. So maybe try to block visibility of this area, or maybe move this detailing down a bit and then round a 90-degree bend. Another thing you could do is you could have like an arch that goes over top here, with ivy going along it to kind of frame the entrance into the next area. Anyway, so I'll stop this video and I'll move on to the next area.